everyone, welcome to our podcast. I'm Shreya.
I'm Jennifer. Shreya, have you observed the recent bad air quality in Chiang Mai?
Of course, that's why today we wear the mask, and today we will discuss the topic about a sculpture which is use the principle of the air around us. Jennifer, can you introduce something background or the community behind the sculpture?
Okay, speaking of Aero project, it is an interdisciplinary art and science project to explore carbon-free, pollution-free flight technology. So, what kinds of science relevant in this project?
This is about meteorology, aerospace engineering, environmental science, and social science. Can you introduce more detail about this sculpture?
Yeah, absolutely. It's called Museo Aero created by Thomas Saracino and his Aerosing community. Isn't just a sculpture, it's a visionary project showcasing a symbiotic relationship with nature for a cleaner and sustainable future.
This project takes a common plastic bag, a symbol of environmental pollution, and transforms it into a floating sculpture powered solely by solar radiation without relying on fossil fuels or mechanical devices. Jennifer, how do you think about the greenhouse effect? Is good or bad?
Yeah, for me, I think it's definitely bad because it causes a severe problem called global warming, right?
Yeah, at first, greenhouse effect is good because it helps us keep warm in living environment. However, humankind activities led into the serious results. Now our artist uses the principle of greenhouse effect to create this sculpture. Can you introduce more about this sculpture?
Okay, the sculpture itself is large and interactive, inviting people to enter and experience the effects of solar heating firsthand, thus educating them about the greenhouse effect in a direct and tangible way. At the same time, such a huge sculpture can quickly attract everyone's attention once it flies into the sky. So, Julia, can you introduce the example of it?
Of course, this sculpture once used this feature to help an area plagued by sewage pollution from chemical plants and told the public the real situation. It focuses on the in-deep interaction between the participants and the artwork. People can write their own personal stories on the huge sculpture.
I found an interesting point, Julia. I found other artworks they have copyright, so that we have to accept receive their permission. So that's why we cannot be fined. So what about this one?
This art has no copyright, and anyone can make the same sculpture according to the instruction manual in the official website. Moreover, this sculpture is more than an art project. It's a community effort that demonstrates the power of collective action in addressing environmental challenges.
By reusing materials that would otherwise contribute to pollution, the project explores new possibilities for sustainable aviation and encourages a global dialogue on ecological sustainability, transcending borders and emphasizing the interconnectedness of our planet.
Jennifer, can you introduce something about relationship between our humankind and the nature?
Of course, there are four mainly periods. The first one is primitive times. Human rely on and reverence for nature, and then we move to agricultural era. Human utilizing nature, and then about the industrial age, human conquer nature and human adapt nature in the information age. So what about the contemporary era?
Nowadays, we choose to prevent the climate problem. For example, the Bahamas is a small island nation, but it faces severe impact of climate change, including rising sea levels and frequent tropic storms and hurricanes. The government gives priority to climate adaptation and disaster preparedness. Uh, Jennifer, did you get some interesting or new idea about the sculpture?
Yeah, of course, cause this sculpture is aiming to promote coexistence with the environment. Like for me, I found recent years facing with increasingly countless natural disasters, human beings have to realize that shifting the human-centric attitude to eco-centric attitude. Like my personal thought is like as a student majoring in humanities and sustainability, I always feel that art or humanities, these academic stuffs are actually irrelevant and very far from our daily lives, to be honest. For me, they merely appears into my essay and paper, but when problems like disaster or like the bad air quality appear abruptly and interrupt our daily lives, we begin to get trapped into the emotions of anxiety and worry. So it's absolutely incorrect for me. Like under those emergent circumstances, it is too late to solve it. Like recently, we faced with the bad air quality in Chiang Mai, and then we suffer from the inconvenience and uncomfortable feelings like wearing a mask. I start to think that the significance of that intangible air, I used to breathe it for granted. Maybe I need to adopt more green travel methods. I think to do a bit contribution for reducing the carbon emissions. But what I want to emphasize is that it's not too late to protect the environment. Yeah.
I agree with you, Jennifer. We live with nature instead of take something from the nature. Nature itself is wealthy. In fact, we are also a part of the ecological network, which is closely related to other factors. Sustainability is not a simple matter of increasing revenue and reducing expenditure. It can be achieved by finding alternative clean energy and saving energy consumption. We should minimize the damage that has happened. For example, learn to survive in the present climate and coexist with the present environment. There are also plastic products and other refractory waste materials that we have produced in large quantities that can be reused. We should all contribute together.
Yeah, like before we read up, since its inception in 2007, Museo Aero Solar has visited over 30 countries, recycling hundreds of thousands of plastic bags and fostering a sense of unity and inclusiveness among participants. So this project not only brings art into the public realm, but also serves as a call to action for building a sustainable future together.
This artwork told us that the world is not center of our humankind. It's around the nature and related to other factories. So if we wanted to change the environment problem, we should contribute together and work together.
So like that's the end. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you.